Greetings, listeners, and welcome to a special one-shot presentation by the Wednesday night crew called The Sunrise Limited, brought to you by the RPG system 321 Action. This exciting adventure takes place a long time ago in a unique spaghetti western style setting. Players are added security on the Sunrise Limited, a train headed to California. Let's listen in and meet the characters and see what sort of mayhem ensues.
Welcome to Wednesday Night Adventures. We are playing 321 Action tonight, a ham and egg publishing little RPG. It's very rules light. The gang knows most of the rules, and everybody else at home can pick them up as they go along. Why don't we go around and introduce the characters we are playing, and then you could just tell me a quick little backstory for yourself and your character name. You don't have to get too involved here. So, Sean, let's start with you.
I'm playing Jesus Chuy Flores. He is a brawler who is determined to hunt down the hucksters who have stolen his family's land. And he is never seen without his trusty bullwhip.
Very good. Emily, who are you playing this evening?
I'm playing Quintella P. Morris. She used to roam the countryside as part of the Wild West extravaganza. One of those performers who would get blindfolded and then shoot an apple off of a participant's head. So she's real good with a gun, and now she's just roaming on her own.
All right. Jonathan, who are you, and who will you be playing?
I will be playing Hong Da, the Heart. A former railroad worker turned pharmacist, of all things. He's quick to heal, but even quicker with his hammer, so better watch out.
Very good. And finally, Andrew, who will you be playing this evening?
I am Joe Osgood. I donned my brother's clothes and I joined the Buffalo Soldiers and became a field medic. I have no intention of going back to my old life.
All right. Well, speaking of your old life and double lives and all kinds of lives, you all are associates of the Sheriff John Jebediah Bertram. He is the lawman of Black Gulch, Wyoming, where this train has started. Not only, though, is Jebediah Bertram the lawman and the sheriff, he's also a criminal mastermind. Bum, 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 bum. And under the guise, under this guise, he has chosen you all on a special adventure. But before we get to that adventure, why don't we start off with how do you guys know? Like, what brought you into the target, the scope of how did you meet Sheriff Bertram? Let's start with Jesus.
Well, I went to the sheriff to figure out if there was a way that he could help me get my grandma's land back from the homesteaders. And he has promised me that there is a way, but first I have to conduct some deeds for him first. And I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to eventually get there. So if we need to break a few eggs to make that omelet, so be it.
Very good, very good. Quintella, how do you know Sheriff Bertram?
Well, she was performing her act at one of the taverns and was shooting her gun at some people at the apples on top of their head, and some crazy people thought she was going to kill them. So they called the sheriff on her, but the sheriff understood. So they're good.
Very good, very good. And Hong Da, how do you know the sheriff and got involved with Sheriff Bertram?
Well, the first time I met the sheriff was when they were investigating my brother's unfortunate death in an explosion during some railroad work, and he's tapped me on the shoulder to not only help out around town, but he seemed to have a hunker in that there might have been some foul play around that, and I'm really interested in finding out if there was.
Very good. And finally, Joe, how do you know Bertram?
Well, after I mustered out of the military. I traveled out west to seek my fortune, and in this particular town, the boys can get rowdy and start shooting, and one of the sheriff's deputies was shot, and I was, field medic that I am, quick to the rescue, removed the bullet and patched him up.
All right, very good, very good. Well, let's get going then. And you guys have all met, and here's where we'll start off with. Upward mobility to the American dream is upward mobility. You see, we here are all cut from the same cloth, and though the fibers appear different, our births dictated that we are sewn from below the bottom rung of the social ladder. There's no senator's son among us, a Rockefeller, or even a banker or lawyer. Our particular pedigree is sweat and toil until we become part of the fields we sow. Our only dream is the one grand equalizer that ensures upward mobility. Money. So, on October 25th, 1876, you will be hired as an additional security detail to protect against a very plausible threat against a member of the English royalty who will be traveling on the Sunrise Limited from Black Gulch, Wyoming to Gilroy, California. I've received a tip that a band of bandits will seek to liberate a cache of gold bars Lord Ruthven will carry secured in a steel Kodiak safe in the observation deck. We neutralize the bandit threat with our special talents and then grab the gold for ourselves in the gunpowder confusion. Then, upon waking on October 26, 1876, the rising sun will baptize us into a new life. We then will become the American dream. And that is what Sheriff says to you. And that is where you're going. So you got train heist, where you are the quote-unquote security. You're actually going to be making off with the gold. But others want to get that gold too. So that's where we're at. And so we get started, and you guys are riding the train. You've met up. You notice that Bertram is kind of complaining about he had two other people lined up, but they never showed. But you can't wait on the train. The train's got to move. So through swears and whatnot, he says, "All right, well you all are here, so that's a good start. Here we go." And the magenta crown of the sunset adorned the sky, its delicate beauty painting the red Wyoming cliffs as if by the hand of a benevolent god on a canvas of heartbreak. A simple glance out of the window was enough to inspire awe at the landscape's splendor. The Sunrise Limited train beneath your feet rattles, jolting to a sudden deceleration to a mere 5 miles per hour. Sheriff Bertram seizes you, herding you towards the engine car, barking orders and navigating through the panicked passengers. You pass a chef screaming in the kitchen and passengers in the dining car now covered in spaghetti. Thick black smoke fills the air inside the engine room. The fireman with the edge of a large axe pressed against the engineer's neck confronts you. Abbott, the engineer's face is a mask of terror, while the fireman is obscured by soot and sweat. He repeats the same words over and over, his crazed eyes fixed on you. Bertram attempts to defuse the situation, urging the fireman to lower his axe. Instead, the fireman swings the butt of his axe against a pipe, releasing a jet of steam that engulfs Abbott's face, causing him to scream and collapse. Bertram yells out an order to shut the valve. In the ensuing chaos, you catch sight of the fireman leaping out of the train window. What do you do?
I would like to try to grab him with my bullet.
All right. What do you have? Any? Why don't you give me a action roll? Roll under your action.
My action is 6, and I rolled a 5.
All right. Well, you whip him with your thing. You grab onto his leg. What's everybody else up to?
Now, these pronouns we're using, you just grappled the fireman. Is that correct?
Yes,
Who
the
jumped out the
fireman.
window?
Right? I assume he means the fireman. Yep.
Yep. Correct.
I am going to go to the engineer and assess his injuries.
He is basically his body is underneath this broken pipe that's spitting out steam at you.
I am not going through the steam. I am avoiding the steam.
All right.
However, I can take off my jacket and try to wrap the rupture.
All right. Why don't you give me a brawn check to see if you can roll it off, and you can give me you can get a -1 on that because you have a good idea there with your thing. What's the heart and Quintella up to?
Okay, with the -1, I got a 4. My brawn is 5. So that was nice. Is it meet or it beats, or do I have to get in lower?
No, it's meter beats. So like you want to hit it or get lower.
Okay, so either way.
Either way, you're good. Yeah.
Capable of stifling this rupture.
All right. What's Quintella? What's the Hong Da doing?
I think in the heat of the moment, with that fireman trying to run off, and the whip around one of the legs, she's shooting for the other one, trying to, just in case he gets out.
All right, that's a hit. Roll the damage. So roll the D10. There should be a minus with your gun there, right?
-3. So I got a 2.
So yeah, -3. It's that does no damage.
Okay.
So it like clings off.
No, wait. So I got a 5. I did the.
Oh, you already got the
Sorry.
minus. All right,
Yeah.
that's all good. So he takes a little slug in the shoulder.
Ooh.
What is How about Hong Da?
So Hung Dao is gonna turn around towards the door we came through, and he's gonna try to brace against it to make sure that no one else is coming in here, that we're sort of contained in this room for now.
Very good. So all this happens at the same time. We got a gunshot fire. We got the crack of the whip, and we got Joe's putting on the shutting off the valve. This smell of a gut-wrenching stench of burnt flesh mingles with the metallic scent of hot steam. Your eyes, Joe, are drawn to the engineer, and a wave of horror washes over you. The man's face and exposed skin are grotesquely disfigured, withered and pruned as if boiled, a shade of red as the devil himself. Part of his body appeared to have been scalded to the point of charring, the skin peeling away to reveal raw flesh tissue beneath. It's pretty gross, huh? The smell of burnt skin is overpowering, mingling with the residual steam in the air to create a nauseating aroma. The man is unrecognizable, a nightmarish version of his former self. Make me a guts check, Joe.
All right. I got a 9, so that fails.
So yeah, so just mark that. Yeah, one minus on the guts check. So after the crack of the whip, like you grab him, he just reaches down with his and he pulls the bullwhip off, and he makes his way across, further out the window as the bullet misses him. And Hong Da, you do not see anybody else coming into the room or coming up to the engineering cart. At this point, Bertram pivots towards the apprentice engineer, a shy-looking youngster of about 12 years. He says, "Do whatever it takes to get this train in the next station. Don't worry, we'll handle these malfeasance," he says, face set with grim determination. The kid's face is a mask of sheer terror, but he begins to operate the controls. So he has jumped out the window. What's next for everybody? And he's undone the whip on his leg.
Sheriff, should we be chasing this guy or staying with the train for security purposes?
Well, I mean, he's just out the window. You got to make sure he's gone.
I stick my head out the window.
I stick my head out and I shoot another bullet at him.
All right, you see him like climbing up, onto the coal tender, that's trailing behind the thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Hong Da and Joe, what are you guys up to?
Hong Da is going to turn to the junior engineer and just go, "Where do you need some muscle? What needs done?"
You gotta get some more coal in there. Get this fired up and shut off that valve there. I know he's got it covered up, but it's spitting out steam. We'll be able to do it, but we just gotta shut off that valve and keep the power from going there.
All right, Azuri, whatever you say. And he'll take his hammer. He'll take his hammer and jam it into the turn for the steam to give him some extra leverage, and then he is going to try to shut off this steam valve that's piping steam in here.
All right, you can make a brawn check as you shake this, but you can get a -1 on that.
All right, that is a 2 with the -1, which
Or
my
whatever.
brawn is my brawn's 7. So yeah,
So yeah, with ease. And Joe, what are you up to?
Well, that depends. I want to do a medicine check on this. I know you've described a pretty horrific scene for the engineer. Do I think he will survive? Is the question before I waste any bandages and opium on this man.
All right. So, so Jesus.
That's right. Heal the NPC.
That's right. Jesus and Quinn, they look out the window. Jesus, you see the fireman, on the tender. Quinn, you go ahead and fire. So roll the damage.
Great. That's another 2.
Boom! He takes a couple more damage. At that point, Hong Da, with a mighty powerful turn of the hammer, switches off the old valve, and that's steam, and the steam lets go, turns it to the new valve, and Joe, you're looking at it, and you say to yourself, "Thank God this man died instantaneously, because otherwise he'd be
good. He's dead.
He's in a world of
otherwise." I would have, while everyone was distracted and I thought he would not live if I treated him, I would have quietly smothered him.
No need for that.
Wow.
That's right, compassionate care.
If I see that guy climbing up trying to get on the other car, I'm going to get on top of the engine and start making my way over that way.
Absolutely. So he cleaves onto the coal mine with his long, hefty axe, using it to swiftly propel himself up the peak of the open-air gondola-style coal tender car. His agility borders on his supernatural as he lands gracefully, cat-like, atop a massive pile of coal. He grins. His grin glints with excitement. And Jesus, you pull yourself up, and you're like on top of the engine. Quinn, what are you up to?
I'm chasing after them. I don't know.
All right, you're gonna jump on. I mean, you want to take another shot? You want to jump on moving up onto the coal tender?
Nah, I'll just take another shot.
FYI, right. you can do 2 attacks per round also. So,
oh, very cool.
So Jesus, you're making chases. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. And if I need to jump from one to the other, like he's on basically we're on the engine car and he's on the next car. Am I understanding that right?
Yes.
So I have a passive ability to use my whip to swing into action by latching onto a nearby object and launching myself along, as long as the whip can hold, or whatever I grapple supports my weight. So I would like to whip the coal canopy and sort of pull myself over to where the other guy is.
All right, sounds good. Quinn's going to shoot. Hong Da, what are you up to? You've got the valve shut off.
Hong Da.
Your 2 friends have gone out the window to give chase.
Our duty is to get this train where it's got to go. He's going to grab a shovel and start shoveling coal.
Very good. And Joe, what are you up to?
I have no ranged weapons on my person. So I guess I will clamber on the coal car and carefully give chase. I don't want to fall off.
All right. So Jesus swings himself across onto the coal car. No problems whatsoever. He's got that whip ability. Quinn, make your shots.
Heck yeah, the first one is a 6, and then the second's a 1.
Like 1 damage then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're doing the.
Yes, I'm doing the -3 already. Yep.
Gotcha. And Hong, you said you're just start shoveling coal, and
I'm shoveling coal as quick as I can, trying to make sure this train doesn't slow down.
you see the young engineer. He's like doing some stuff. He looks at you. He's like, oh, I think we're getting this back up to power, and you feel the train start moving faster. Joe, I'm sorry. Did you say you were climbing out? And at this point, you climb out, and you see approaching the train from the side 2 bandits on horseback, and they leap from their mounts onto the coal tender car. They brandish sharp silver daggers with menacing curves in their hands, and black bandanas adorn their face. To the side of the train, outlined by the purple light of sunset, you spot what appears to be a Maasai warrior on horseback. He is wearing a bright red shukka, and jewelry adorns his neck, drawing your eyes to his corded arm muscles as he holds his bow and takes aim. Meanwhile, with a menacing look on his smooth face and rivulets cutting across the soot, the fireman swings his axe over his head. It creates a whooshing sound that echoes through the air as he slams it onto a pile of coal, sending it cascading towards Jesus. Jesus, make an action check, +2.
So I rolled a 6. So that means an 8. Using my bullwhip as I did gives me a -1 bonus to my next action check. So that ends up being a 7. But I need to be below a 6, and that does not work. So all right, that math for I got hit.
So yeah, you get hit. You start, the coal starts like shaking underneath you. And you find yourself falling, and you just in time, you barely grab onto the edge before you fall off the edge of the train. As it starts lurching really fast and moving really fast, and this man with the silver dagger is coming at you as well. You are unfortunately going to miss your next turn. These night hunters, these guys with the mask, they're just going to start approaching you guys. One is just going to try to fisticuffs and just try to kick you off, Jesus, try to knock you down. You're actually going to take 1 point of damage as he steps on your fingers as you're clinging on. The other one is moving towards where Joe came on, and the arrows are shooting, and they're going to shoot at you, Quinn, because you're shooting out at the buddies. So, where are my arrows? All right, but they, one miss, and the other one misses. They start clanging off the side of the train. We're at the next round. Tell me, everybody, what you're going to do. Although Jesus, you're just clinging on to for dear life right now. You're hanging on. So Quinn, what's up? Or anybody,
I'm shooting back at them. The arrow guys, or one of them.
All right. What about Hong Da?
Hong Da
at this point, the engineer turns to you and says, "We're good. We're good."
Yep. Yeah, he's gonna glance out the window.
Oh, we're good.
he'll quickly glance out the window, see what's going on, and then he's gonna start booking it while he's inside the train back approximately 2 or 3 cars where he sees that these other bandits have jumped on. And once he's back there, he'll be looking for a door or some exit point to get to the exterior part of the train to start trying to climb on top and get into the action here.
All right, so, and then Joe, finally, what are you up to? You've got yourself onto the coal cart as well.
Who is stepping on Jesus' fingers?
There is one of these masked men that came on and brandishing these silver.
It's not the fireman?
No.
Well, whoever it is, I will move toward him and use my bone saw to damage -2 him. Let me roll that. Right.
Yeah, so Jesus is hanging on. Quinn, you can roll. You give your shots, and Joe,
that's
you
only
give us
2
shots.
damage.
All right, but you got his attention. Quinn, who are you shooting at? You were shooting at the bow and arrow, correct?
Yes, the bow and arrow. A 6 and a 3. After
6 and a 3,
yep.
Nice. All right, and then so gunfire, bang, bang. Joe, you got two attacks per round, also. Just FYI.
Well, if the first one wasn't effective, I will do so again. That is 7 damage. with the second swipe of the bone saw.
Hot dog, this you take a good chunk out of this guy. As Jesus is clinging on, more gunshots all around you. Hong Da, you exit the engineer cart and you're able to move onto, find yourself a ladder to gets you up to the coal thing. You see all this action going on, but the bad guys, the fireman, he's gonna take his axe. He sparks up a coal and he's gonna slap shot it like a hockey puck. And he's going to hit it at Joe. It's totally going to miss you, though. This hot, steaming coal thing totally misses you. Meanwhile, the guy with the bone saw slashes you with his silver dagger. That is going to do 3 points of damage to you, Joe.
Ouch.
And then the other
I've had
one,
worse. I've been in a war.
The other one, he's gonna try to slash at you again. You also, Joe. That is gonna be 1 point. As these two guys are slashing at you, and the bow and arrow shooting at Quinn. You are gonna take 5 points of damage from as these arrows
Got me
down
good.
to you. All right, next round. Jesus, you're back in action. Let me know what you guys want to do.
Quintella's is shooting back at the bow and arrow, hoping that her bullets take him out before the arrows take her out.
I'm going to whip one of these guys.
All right. Hong Da, you're there as well now. You can pull yourself up onto that cart.
Yep, he's pulling himself up, and he's gonna go to whichever character is closest to him, and he's gonna try to swing his hammer twice at him. And with the first one, if a player can make it. Oh, okay. So with the first one, I'm gonna try a special ability
All right.
to coast. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Go. We'll get to that. Joe,
Okay.
what are you up to?
I am going to swing my bone saw at the guy I slashed twice previously. That damage would be 6. Is he still alive?
He's screaming at you, but he's still up.
Well, my second attack, I'm going to try my special ability. The first cut is the deepest, where Joe is famed for swift and precise battlefield amputations.
Ooh.
If their attack at DMG -5 inflicts damage equating to half of an enemy's remaining LP, they can sever one of their limbs. So let's see what happens.
Damn.
That is 4 damage.
And so it has to be over half the remaining damage. Is that what I'm hearing?
Equating to half.
All right. So yeah, like he's about to come at you with his dagger, and that's when you just take the bone saw and whoop with a chop, and you just see his arm just fall off.
Sure
his blood just he's just screaming as blood is just spurting out of where his arm used to be. Hong Da, go ahead and you're attacking the other one as you get behind him.
Yeah, so I make the attack, and then roll a d10. Here's higher is better.
Yeah, for damage, higher is better. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 7 minus 3 is 4. So that's good. 4 damage. And his special ability is Coast to Coast. If a player can make a successful Brawn +3 check after damage has been dealt. Let's check that. I rolled a 2 + 3 is 5. My Brawn is 7, so this is successful.
All right.
After damage has been dealt, the recipient of the damage will get thrown 5 feet, suffer 2 guts penalties, and lose their next turn.
Well,
Nice.
I'm actually going to we'll have him do a I think we'll have him do an action check to see if he even stays upon this this train, because you've knocked him, 5 feet away. Let's see what happens. Ooh, you knock him backwards, and not only does he fall 5 feet back, but he falls 5 feet off the train. You hear the thunk of him hitting the ground, and like that Maasai, the Maasai warrior on the horse. He doesn't have time to stop, but this man gets trampled by the horse as he falls off. Hey, Zeus, you've got your choice of the man with the amputated arm or the fireman who chucked a thing of coal at somebody's face last round.
I'll try the fireman. And I got a 5 points of damage with my bullwhip.
All right.
And then as I backhand my bullwhip, I miss.
You like wraps around his arm, and he like pulls it away, but he knocks it off before you can get there. And he is going to then attack you, Sean. You're right. He takes this giant axe and goes to attack you with it. You are going to take 3 points of damage. And at this point, you hear Bertram scream, "Everybody get down!" And then under the deepening purple twilight, a towering mountain appears out of nowhere. The Maasai warrior utters a curse and pulls sharply on his horse's rein while the train enters a shadowy tunnel. Inside, the gas lamps on the train cast long dancing shadows on the roughly hewn walls. In the murky darkness, the fireman's axe gleams menacingly, creating a shower of sparks as he hurls more coal in your direction. It is dark. We're at the next turn. It's dark. Everybody's going to take a except for Quintella, everybody's going to take like a +2 on there, or minus whatever, however it works to for
make it harder.
Yes, damn roll unders. I guess it would be a -2 on the roll, maybe.
+2 on the roll.
+2 for a check, -2 for damage.
It'd be -2 on the damage. Yeah, we're going to do -2 on the damage.
There we go.
Because you're always going to hit. It's just -2 on the damage because it's dark here, so you may or may not see and or hit. All right, so what's everybody up to? You're in this darkened tunnel. This train is really starting to pick up speed again. Get back to where it was before you guys started.
I would like to use the undercover of the darkness to crawl towards the fireman. Hopefully, so he can't see me, and then try to like pull his feet out from under him.
All right, make me an action.
Like a fisticuffs type. I have a fisticuffs, like not my weapon. Like I don't know if that counts for the damage.
No, I think we're gonna do like an action check to see if you can do this. So, but you're gonna add 2 to your,
Yep.
To your
add 2 to my rolls.
Right.
Are we all describing, or should I do that now?
We'll just do that now. Quintella, what are you up to? You're, that bow and arrow guy is on it, but it's dark now. You're still hanging out the window, am I right?
Yes. And no problem. Quintella knows where he's at, so she's just gonna keep shooting in that direction.
Very good. What about Hong?
Hong is going to be significantly less subtle and is just going to directly approach the fireman and try to take a swing with his big hammer at him.
And what about you, Joe?
Also,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say he's just swinging the hammer twice. Just
as I understand it, there were 2 of these knife-wielding assailants contending with me.
Well, there was the one got his arm cut off, and the other Hong knocked off the whole train.
Oh, well,
so now there's only one, and he is unarmed.
Exactly. I will grab the arm that has a knife in it and throw it off the train so that he cannot
rearm himself.
Exactly. He cannot realistically be a threat to me. And then we will see if I can push him off the train too as my second attack.
All right, very good. We are going to. So Jesus, do your sneak action.
Did not work.
So yeah, you're this cold, like it's just so loud, it's so so dark in here that you leap up, but he's nowhere near where you thought he was. Quinn, you make your shots. Bang bang.
Yeah, 3 and 7.
No penalty for you because you know exactly where he is. Hong, you see him take a couple more slugs as you hit him with your hammer.
Hammer hit number 1 is 6 minus 2 on damage is 4. And he will try the special action here to knock him back, and I'll suffer the penalty. Yeah, so that's that one. So the special action doesn't work, but the damage still does, the 4. And then the second swing of the hammer, 5. But then it's minus 5 plus. The hammer's -3. Yes. -3. So it's -3, -2 is 0. Second one, it's nothing.
That's all good. Joe is Osgood. What are you up to? Make your attack against the. Why don't you give me a brawn check to see if you can knock this guy off? I'll give you a +1 on him because he has got one arm. So.
Okay, with a +1. Wait, I want to get under.
Yeah, so like your brawn would be 5, so it could be treated as like a 6 here.
Okay, well, I rolled a 4, so
very good. So yeah, this guy's screaming and bleeding, and you push him into the side of this tunnel, and the hefty axe descends in the darkness. This Moretti, like he takes this hammer shot at the thing, and it falls backwards. His hammer, his axe falls back, descending into the darkness, creating a resounding clatter, only to shatter under the immense force exerted on the train. As the train exits the tunnels, the starry night sky bathes the world in light, revealing a conspicuous void where the fireman once stood. And that is the end of this train and this scene, as you've taken care of all the bad guys. Way to go,
Yay!
You guys.
Scene.
We're awesome.
And cut. Everybody gets +1 luck points because you all survived.
Yay.
So +1 to that starting, or +1 to what we have now?
What you have now. So I
Okay.
had like a minor heal. Jesus, I liked your swing into the action only to fall down, but you're gonna get +2 luck points for that. The best kill. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Joe. You get +4 because you cut off that
arm.
Mm-hmm. And Hong Da +5 luck points because you killed Moretti, the fireman. And Quintella, you shot in the dark. I'm going to give you +1 just for
Woohoo!
just for keeping cool under pressure. And that's the end of scene 1. And the train is back on the thing. And this is where
I have a special ability of battlefield medicine. So if anybody needs any further healing, I can do so. Or I can remove 1 guts penalty, which I took. Did anybody take a guts penalty?
Mm-mm.
Heal thyself.
Done.
I'd like to yell back to the sheriff. Got rid of those enemies. Sheriff.
All right, he like pops, he finally pulls himself out of the engineer car, pops up. He's like, all right. He grabs you. He's like, he heads you towards that first passenger car, like right, the next car up on the train. He says, we have to get to that safe. Upon entering, you notice a young couple passed out on a bench. The woman's dress is stained with bright yellow vomit, and the man's head is tilted at an uncomfortable angle, a clear sign of his drunken stupor. Before you can react, the door at the other end of the car, 60 feet down, creaks open, and a crooked, robed figure shuffles in. His hair is long and stringy, falling over his face in tangled strands, and his back is bent almost in half. He closes the door quietly behind him and murmurs, "Por favor, perdóneme." His voice is barely audible over the snores of the drunk people. But as he glances up at you, you see his face is gaunt and weathered, with deep lines etched into his skin. His eyes seem to bore into your soul, and a sense of unease washes over you. A loud thud resonates as a heavy metal object slips off the man's back and crashes to the floor. He straightens his back with a crackle, standing over 6.5 feet tall. With a sudden movement, he opens his robe, revealing a lithe body covered in silver chains and bloody bandages. He tugs on one of the chains and the heavy metal object flies into his hands. Its shape resembles a ship's anchor with a razor-sharp edges and a center spoke adorned with the sculpture of Christ on the cross. "We seek Lord Ruthven," he declares in a deep, echoing voice. Without warning, he spins the holy anchor, destroying the benches on either side of him. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he hurls a weapon at you. You duck just in time as it whizzes past your head and embeds itself in the opposite wall. Bertram quick draws his gun and fires at the man, but the bullets merely ricochet off his chains. With a guttural growl, the robed figure charges towards you.
Ah!
All right, that's creepy.
This is the point where we wake up, right?
Oh, you can't see. I'm blurred.
Oh, no.
I'm going to blur myself. It's all good. Bum, 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 bum. Ah!
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Spooky.
Okay.
Or, ah!
Nice.
All right, what is everybody's plan of attack on this guy?
Before or after we change pants?
I mean, I want to run in as close as I can to him, so like he doesn't have the ability to hit me with that thing from distance. So
Well, the
I sort of
train car
want.
is 60 feet.
He says,
I heard.
Yes,
yeah,
he's correct.
his thing is 60 feet long. Just went over our heads. Damn.
Well, he did move a little closer. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We're just going with it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to get as close to him as I can and try to punch him.
All right, Quinn, what are you up to?
I want to see if my bullets do any better than the sheriff's.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
But I just want to so Quintella doesn't shoot me in the back.
Of course.
I'm good. Don't worry.
She's a sharp shot. Don't worry about it.
Hung's gonna move towards where the cross went, just over over their heads, and he is going to try to grab it so that it won't get dislodged. He's trying to sort of tug a war with the end of it, I suppose.
All right, and Joe, what's the plan for Joe?
Joe will also move toward the creature. Joe noticed that the previous assailants and this current monstrosity are all armed with silver, and I want to do a investigation check with brains to figure out just what the deal is with this. If lead is just fine for the rest of us, so why are they using silver? That would be a brains of 8.
What is your brains?
8. And
Sweet.
I rolled a 9. I have no idea.
Ooh.
No idea.
I think in the
It's
heat of
just
the moment,
an uncanny coincidence. But I am 40 feet closer.
I think in the heat of the moment, there's just you have no idea what is going on with like you can't think straight. This man just threw a anchor cross whip at you, and it scared the bejeebus out of you. So Jesus and Hong, you move up close. And at this point, just like, he's got the other end of the chain. He's just whipping it about, and you feel each the sting of his this faith-filled chains. So you might take some damage here. Jesus, you take 2 just getting close, and Hong, you're just kind of dodging out of the way of this stuff. Quinn, make your shots. Oh no, not Hong. Sorry, Jesus and Joe are moving up. Jesus, Hong, you're going to do a brawn check, but Quinn, we're going to take your shots.
2 and 1.
2 and 1. It's an additional -1 as it bounces off of his things there, but you do see some blood appear on him, if only a little bit.
Nicked him.
And Hong, make yourself a brawn check as you try to tug of war this.
All right, I got a 3 on the brawn check. My brawn is 7.
All right. You guys, he makes a brawn check as well. So you guys just come to a standstill as you're just kind of. He's like holding on to this thing. He's trying to pull it back, but you're also pulling it back. And we are at the next round. What's everybody up to? As you know, Jesus, Joe, you're like just being within vicinity of him. You feel almost like like this other chain is just whipping around in a circle or is getting you. But next round, here we go.
Quinn wants to turn around and help Hong Da with the chain and try to like pull it back from him. Try to knock him off balance.
All right.
Joe will be dropping to the deck and working with its bone saw on the feet, which are probably not covered in chains, of the creature. And I will continue my investigation by stating the obvious. That no one knew we were going to be on this train. Sheriff, are you a lycanthrope?
Jesus, what are you up to?
I'm going to try to grab the short part of the chain that's spinning around with my bullwhip and try to like grab it. And with Quinn and Hong doing the other side, I'm hoping to pull on the other one. We can catch this guy off balance.
All right. Let's start with Joe attacking the feet.
The first attack is 3 damage total, minus whatever protection he has.
As you said, there's no protection on his feet. You're able to, get in close on him.
The second attack is 7 damage total.
Oof. Very good. Very good. Yeah. All right. There we go. All right. Then we're going to move on to, Quinn and Hong Da. Why don't you give me a brawn check? Whoever's got the better brawn, and they can give you a plus on that as well, +2 on that since you're helping out.
So my brawn is 4.
7.
Okay, so you've got the better brawn.
Okay, so not a D20, a D10. So I rolled a 7. My brawn is 7, but then you're giving us a
so it'd be considered a 9
minus
for this. Yeah, -2, +2, whatever you want. However you want to.
Yeah, -2. So I pass it by 2. Yeah.
Yes, you pass it. So yeah, you're able to hold on to this. Pull this thing away from him. Hey Zeus, give me a action check with your whip.
Well, I didn't know if this falls under my Caro's Vengeance. If I land a successful attack with my bullwhip, I can ensnare an opponent, and I'm wondering if we could consider the chain an opponent.
No, I would say the opponent is the guy and not the chain.
Right. So action. I fail that.
So yeah, you're unable to whip this thing as it still whips around. You are going to take you are going to take 7 damage, Jesus,
Whoa.
as this thing's whipping you around. Ooh. And Joe, you are going to take 4 damage as this thing is whipping around. And he's going to try to pull back on that thing, but you guys are the 2 of you are too strong, and he's unable to get his chain back. He's screaming at you, but he's like whipping everybody, whipping the other 2 with his chains and his feet and fists. Is just power coming off of him. And Bertram's like, I ain't no lycanthrope. That there's a bad guy, ain't me. And he's going to take a couple
eliminating
shots.
all the suspects. That's all.
He takes another shot at the guy, and he does do some damage to him. But we're next round. What's everybody up to?
All right. Discretion is the better part of valor. I'm going to back up a little bit and do 2 whips on this guy.
All right, Quinn. Keep shooting.
Yeah.
You're pulling.
So I'm pulling on the chain. But what if she got one hand free and just kind of like shot behind her? We'll call it her special ability, a trick shot.
I love it.
That's what she will do.
Hong, what are you up to?
Yeah, it's kind of lame, but he's going to continue to try to fight and hold this cross back, afraid of what might happen if he ever gets it freed.
And Joe, what were you going to be doing?
Continuing sawing at this guy's ankles.
All right, Jesus, make me an action check to make sure you can get out of the way of this chain that's flowing around.
I cannot.
All right. Well, you'll take some damage.
I keep rolling 9s with this. This is the wrong game because I keep rolling 9s tonight. It's really,
I'm
really
rolling
good.
so high. It's good. You are able to get back. You're going to take a little bit of damage though, but you can make your whip attacks.
All right. First whip attack. Hey, 4 points of damage.
Very good. Very good.
And then the second one is 6 points of damage because I rolled an 8 and a 10. I'm
Look at that.
just really, really good with this 10-sided die tonight.
Really high numbers, yeah.
I mean, there's only 10 numbers, right? That's good. Quinn, make your second shot as Joe's sawing away at the leg.
Oh man. So with the trick shot, the damage bonus increases to 0, but I only rolled a 3. So
it clangs off these chains that are all around his body. Hong, make me the brawn check as you try to pull it away.
Oh, I rolled a 9. My brawn is 7. It's good, but it's not that good.
Yeah, at this point, like, just your sweat, the chain, it just slips out of your hand, and he gives it a good hard yank, and he pulls it closer to him. Joe, make me with the cutting of his leg.
The first attack is 4 damage. The second is 2. It's total 6.
All right, very good. At this point, like, he pulls it back, and then he whips it, and he's got his eye on you, Hong, because he doesn't like what you did. And this giant cross of pure silver crashes through, like right above these 2 drunken people's heads. Oh, it totally misses you, though. It just, clanks off the wall. He starts muttering in Spanish. But he is, and Sean, because of the damage, you're going to take 2 damage as you escaped his thing. And then it is now the next round. What's everybody up to?
All right. So assuming that this chain is right now taut, sort of near Hong, he is going to take his hammer and try to slam it down on the chain to try to stinger this guy and get him to lose his grip on his chain.
All right. Cool. Sean, Jesus.
I'm going to whip him a couple more times. Back up a little bit more.
All right. You are well out of the reach of that other chain that's whipping around. Yeah. So you move out of the way. Quinn, what are you up to? Quintella?
Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Yes.
Come and blast him. And
It's
Joe?
your favorite.
Sawing away. Did I take any damage from the whipping chains?
You would have taken 1 damage from that.
Okay.
All right. Jesus with the whips.
I rolled a 9, so that's 5 points of damage.
Okay.
And then the second one, I rolled an 8, so that's 4 points of damage.
There you go. Look at that. I mean, at least you're being consistent, right?
Yes, just 8s, 9s, and 10s all over the place.
Quinn's gunshots firing out in the bang bang.
4 out of 5.
Oh, he is. You start noticing a lot. His stained bandages are getting even more stained with more blood flows from him. Hong, make me a I guess give us an action check on that. Try to get.
Okay. Action check. I rolled a 3. My action is 6.
All right, you were able to like slam this hammer down onto the end of this chain, and it like knocks it down into the ground. Joe, make with the saw.
Right. The first one was only 2 damage. Second attack is 3.
All right.
So, I hit a bit of bone there, and apparently the saw's not going through.
Absolutely. You just feel the blood like pouring down onto your hand here. And you're going to take 6 points of damage as he's whipping around his little chain here. And then, his robes are now draped in blood. He whispers, "The darkness shall never prevail." And then Hong, despite you knocking down his thing, you feel like almost like an unearthly or divine strength pull it back. And then he just starts whirling this holy anchor above his head, causing chaos in the surrounding car and threatening your safety. Splintered wood fills the air like floating dust particles around him, forming a cloud that obscures visibility as he's just like taking off hunks of the wall with this anchor. Through the mess of debris, the sacred anchor hurtles again towards you. And at this point, everybody is going to take some damage here. Everybody's going to take 2 damages, just like just all these particles start flying around again. All right, so the windows are shattering, the walls are getting torn up, and this guy's bleeding profusely. What's everybody up to?
Hey, my strategy keeps working. More whip.
More gun.
More bone saw.
Yeah.
Just got to keep chewing away at this guy.
Hong is going to throw his hammer at him.
Oh.
I would like everybody to make me an action check on this because of all this debris and stuff. If you fail, just know that your damage is reduced by 1.
All right, so I got a 2 and my action is 7.
I failed, so my damage is reduced by 1 on both attacks, or 1
on all the ensuing attacks here.
Okay, from here out.
Failed.
I'm good.
All right, everybody, make with the actions, make with the attacks.
Do you still want me to use my hammers, my spike mauls, current damage here?
Yeah, I think that'll work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whip 1 failed. Whip 2 is 4 points of damage.
All right.
Bullet 1 is 5, and then bullet 2 missed.
Hacksaw 1 is 0 damage. Hacksaw 2 is 7 damage.
Nice.
All right. At this point, you notice
10 on the dice. 10 on the dice for Hong. -3 for the hammer, -1 for the failed action, so 6.
All right. At this point, Hong Dao, MVP of the evening, he's dealing the killing blow to, just this hammer just smashes his face back. Oh, and he as he's falling, he's through his crunched face, he says, and he just falls down and he just looks up. He says, "You'll never know how much he's stolen from us." The penitent monk rasps his final dying words as his breath rattles and his body goes blessedly still. And at this point, Bertram walks over and he says, "We plan on finding out." And he puts one more bullet into his head. All right, everybody
Dios,
survived.
Padre.
Nice.
+1, and cut. +1 luck to all players. I'm going to go ahead and best action sequence +2 to Hong for throwing the hammer, right?
Dun, dun,
And
dun.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
and there you go. And +5 for Hong for beating the bunk. Man, somebody else needs to get the kill.
Once again, who needs the healing the most?
I'm down to 12 luck points.
I am
Oh.
also down to 9. I'm down to 9
Ooh.
Help thyself.
again.
Hong has bottles of traditional medicine,
Oh.
and he will give. He's got 3 of them. I think
I'm
we'll
good.
do one to Jesus, that heals 5 luck points,
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
and then Joe, are you good, or do you need one too?
We have no. It doesn't say that my surgeon's kits of bandages have any use numbers, but if you only have 3 healing potions, which is probably ginseng and something.
It's snake oil, actually.
Snake oil.
Water
Oh,
snake
snake
oil.
oil. Oh, that's the best stuff.
Classic snake
That
oil.
is the best
Mhm.
stuff. I spent
cure
like
all your-
most of my money on it.
Cure
Anyway, if you only have 3 charges, then we'll probably need to save those. Speaking meta game metaphorically.
Yeah, another question. So it says I have 20 rounds. So does that mean I have 20 bullets?
Absolutely. And at this point, good thing to know, because at this point you
down
can
on
start
that.
scrounging for like searching for bullets, and you can do this after every encounter, and basically you're just going to roll a 10, and I got a little chart here to see what you find.
All right, let's do that. I got an 8.
So you find 7 bullets,
Yay!
whether it's on this guy, whether it's on this drunken couple.
The drunken couple. They won't notice you rifling through their pockets.
It's the old West, man.
Exactly.
Everybody's packing, right?
Right? Everyone's got a couple. There we
So
go.
You're able to scrounge up a couple more bullets.
Nice.
All right, Bertram, you like, I guess that tip was right about rival gangs trying to get this gold here.
Why do you think that they're all packing silver, Sheriff?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll make another investigation check when we find more silver.
this man here's a holy man. Why wouldn't he have silver, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You got to keep your eyes on the prize, Joe.
In
Right.
addition, how many
Ain't concerned
tons
about the
of
silver. Worry about the gold.
how many 100 pounds of silver does it look like are piled up here on this penitent?
I mean, you feel this anchor and these chains, and I mean they are like boat chains. They're heavy duty. You're like this monk must have been totally super stronger than anybody you've ever met. The way he's just swung these around like they're nothing, because they're just heavy.
So our
Couple hundred
I guess our best strategy is to continue for the gold.
I mean, hell,
This is just it's worth more than the silver at the same weight.
I mean, hell, at this point, once we get that gold, we'll come back and clear up everything, right? It's all part of we'll call it evidence, won't we?
Hey, Sheriff, is that drunk guy back there the prince? You said there's English royalty, right?
The aristocrats.
No, he's drunk off whiskey. Them princes drink wine.
Never met a prince before.
Well, let's make our way back there. We'll go say hi to Mr.
When
Ruthven.
you toured in Europe, have you met any royalty at the shows?
Oh yeah, I met a ton. So many, I can't even count them. They're all hoity-toity and fun to listen to.
Well, then I guess we should rely on you to point them out when we encounter
Oh yeah,
them.
for sure. I'll notice. I know what they look like.
Hell, we know he's in the back of this train in his special car. Come on, let's keep moving. And at this point, he takes you the next car is the kitchen car. It's jam-packed with appliances, pots, pans, plates, and glassware. At the center stands a large coal oven where the chef is engaged in a fierce struggle with a bandit. The fiend manages to wrap his hands around the chef's neck, wrestling him back against a cluttered counter. Desperately, the chef gropes behind him and his hands finds the largest, sharpest knife you've ever seen. With a swift, practiced motion, he slices up and severs the bandit's nose. It pauses in midair before falling to the floor with a wet splat. As the bandit reaches for his face, the chef delivers a clean slash to his throat with a powerful backswing. The bandit crumples to the ground and the chef towers over him, exclaiming, "Nobody messes with Enzio." Meet Enzio.
Hey, Enzio.
Nice.
This guy here. Good-for-nothing gamblers come through my cucina, stealing old chef's booze and filching all my olives. Here I am by myself when this scoundrel, this Fangool, storms in and waves a knife at me. Those maledetto ragazzi hear me in distress and choose to ignore me. I spilled my blood in the war for their sake, and this is how they repay a veteran. Enzio raps on his wooden leg for emphasis, and you notice his limp for the first time. And then, he just casually takes that knife, just wipes the blood off the aprons of his, and he's like, just starts chopping onions again with it.
There have been other people passing through, Enzio?
Oh, I tell you, the man, this man, he says, "Excuse," and he just moves on. He doesn't even, good for nothing, all of them. I'm here to cook. That's what I'm here for.
You got lucky. You missed the monk. He came right past you.
He walked through. He made a quick prayer, and he points to the statue of St. Anthony that's behind him, and he kept moving. Now, what do you want? You want to eat? Manja, come on over here. You have a food.
Yeah.
I will certainly. I would not say no.
I could use a bite.
Chicken alla Enzio. Here you go.
As a veteran, I know you never know when you're going to get to eat or sleep again. So
I see you were with the chef. It's good. You take care of these fools, that try to take over this train. You take care of them for me, chef. You're an upstanding man. With you watching, these bandits won't get far, eh? And then he serves you guys up chicken alla Enzio, and he gives you all his serving of this steamy chicken that just smells delicious, spices and garlic, and it's so rosemary, succulent. It smells so good. Everybody who eats it will get 5 luck points as you chow it down.
Oh, this is awesome.
I guess we're not in a huge rush to get to that safe, but that's okay.
Always time to eat.
Always.
Like I said, you never know.
Is it regain or just gain?
Just gain, like you
okay.
Like even
You
like
can
your
go.
luck point go past what you started with.
Nice.
It has
like temporary
it has
hit
just-
points. That's good.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. And again, remember you can use luck points to pass anything. You can spend some luck to make your things.
That's right.
Yep. Just FYI. Whoa.
Mhm.
But it's
Anything-
never been close.
I mean, I'm just saying Hong is, he's hoarding some points now. He can spend them willy-nilly, I suppose.
do you want to know how many there are now?
Let me guess. 31.
43.
Oh, nice.
I know who's getting the next damages.
Yeah, someone's gonna have to do the tank, and then I feel like I know who's it gonna be next.
Well, you are the heart. What you want to know? Hey, you want to keep what you want to know? Enzio's seen it all on this train.
Is the prince back there? Or the royalty?
What is with the silver?
Yeah, Lord Ruthven. He spits. I've heard many awful things about Lord Ruthven. He probably did what most royals do, and that's steal land and rob the common people. Am I right?
Hate
Mm-hmm.
those people.
Yep.
Hey, Seuss, why don't you give me a 10?
I gave you a 3, not a 10.
Let me tell you about these richies. The governess, she sent her steak back 3 times for well done. Just same to see such perfect meat ruined. Money can't buy taste.
Nope.
Hong Da, make me a D10.
10. That is a 1.
Oh, I tell you, that Shep, he's a lifesaver. He gave me medicine for my aching leg. Oof, works better than my doctor's prescription. It's like it's still there. I almost still feel it. It's amazing. Joe, how about you? Roll me a D10.
That was a 9, sir. Sir, this was the finest chicken I ever had.
So good, so good. Am I right? This is Chef Enzio. I'm going to open up my own restaurant as soon as I'm done with this godforsaken train. Ruthven, I tell you, he's a downright sinister sumbitch. I heard about this once when he was passing through Nevada. He shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Who does that?
Besides Johnny Cash?
Man in black.
Anyways, I got to get back to the cooking. There's probably the governor send a steak back out one more time.
Hey, maybe we could bring the steak out for you. The Lord.
The governess. Yes, here you go. Tell her this is it. It's fried to a crisp. You can toss this into the engine, get another 5 miles per hour.
You could have put a char on the sole of a boot and sent it to her.
It tastes like a boot.
Her.
Is there any sort of waiter's hat or anything I could do to slightly disguise myself as I bring the steak out into the car where the people are?
He tosses you an apron.
All right, I'll put the apron on.
In like a silver tray. You have like the silver tray, the serving tray that you can.
Yeah, I'll walk back there with the silver tray and
look at you, professional. Wipe the blood off your face.
I'll see if we can sneak back there.
Hey, you say hi to Shep for me, and he says, "Arrivederci."
Adios.
I totally did not practice my Italian accent whatsoever. So, all right.
It's me, Enzio.
Yeah, I didn't want to get it too offensive.
You're like in Johnny Dangerously, bro. Continued to maul the Italian language.
That's right. All right. At this point, you know, like Bertram says, you guys done with your chickens there? Let's move on. We'll go drop this off for the governess. We'll say hi to Lord Ruthven, and we'll show him some nice American hospitality, shall we? And then you step into the first class car, trailing soot and coal dust. Ornate gas lamps illuminate the fine china and silverware as the well-dressed passengers buzz with agitation. It's almost like you can hear the classical music playing. "What's happening, Sheriff?" General Hagen demands, gesturing to his frail wife, a pale young woman in a high-necked purple-striped dress, barely able to stay upright in her seat. "My wife's heart, her fragile nerves." "Sir, everything's under control," Bertram assures him, only to be interrupted by a tall, thin, older woman, dressed in outdated widow's weeds. Her shawl is pinned with silver and an onyx brooch in a strange geometric design. "You must find my niece Annabella," she insists. "She sleepwalks and she's disappeared." "We'll find her," Bertram promises, but the woman, revealed to be the governess, eyes him with contempt. "I refuse to let her fall into the hands of that ruffian." The train rocks. The lights go out. Panic ensues. Silverware clatters, glass breaks, and you hear Bertram grunting in pain. The lights flicker back on. Bertram reaches for his side. When he pulls his hands away, it is covered in blood. An impeccably dressed young man sporting a carefully waxed mustache stands out in the crowd. His dark, piercing eyes are almost as captivating as the ethereal blue rapier in his left hand. The weapon sizzles as Bertram's blood burns, its outline in constant flux. His thin, pale lips curl into a sneer. With a snap of his right fingers, lights go out once more. John,
But
roll
the
me a-
rapier's glowing, so we know approximately where he is.
No, the lights of the rapier are out as well.
Wow. Okay.
Sean, roll me a d10.
8.
All right. As the lights go back on, they flicker back on, and you hear someone say, "This train is a tomb. You will find release." And when the lights go back on, you see two of this inspector, a Frenchman, and one of them, and they like look at each other with that Spider-Man look. What do you guys do? So there is, in this room, there is the general that spoke with his wife. He's got his war uniform on. He's an older gentleman. There is an attendant, a porter. He's hanging out with the general and his wife. There is the frail woman, the wife. There is the governess. There is a few other locals sitting around, and there's this inspector, this French man with the mustache. There's now two of him, and this is the same man who just stabbed Bertram, who's clinging to his gut. He's like, "Ugh, kill that sumbitch."
Was the frail wife the one who said, "Find my niece," or was that someone else?
No, so there's a frail wife in the purple dress, or there's the governess who's in like widow's black, and she's the one who said, "Find my niece."
Oh, okay.
Your
I
niece
thought
is
the
drunk up
governess
front.
was for the niece.
Your niece is drunk up front with a passed out dude.
Quinn
Okay,
fires
so
a shot at one at each.
Guess we're doing this. Go, Quinn.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Oh, I mean,
I was going to ask Bertram if this is where the safe was, or if we should just move past this nonsense into the next car.
Sorry, Jesus, we are on a train, and therefore you being railroaded, and therefore you have to.
You get 5 luck points for that pun.
So I guess if Quintella's shooting and she has 2 shots and I have 2 whips, I'm going to whip one guy and then whip the other guy.
Fair enough.
I had assumed that the doppelganger was some innocent that this fiend has appropriated. But if it's just like a mirror image, then yeah. Every person that I'm going to use my brain point to figure out if every person we saw as we walked in is still accounted for, and this is an extra Frenchman. So
All right.
That will be my action.
And Hong, what are you going to do?
Yeah, Hung's charging right up to the one on the left and is going to just swing twice at the one on the left. Better to go
Okay.
after one than
Fair
split
enough.
it.
All right, Quinn, make your
Nice.
shots.
all right. So the one on the left, ooh, I missed. And the one on the right, I got a 3.
Oh, you shot me. You
That
shot
was
me.
the plan.
I have been shot. Ah. Jesus with the whips. Sacre bleu.
The one on the left is 6 points of damage. And then the
Okay.
one on the right, I'm going to use my special ability, the Vanquero's Vengeance. It's a successful attack, and what I'm going to do is ensnare my opponent with the whip. Once ensnared, I can strategically use this captured foe as a shield. So, like, I'm sort of moving him around. But if he tries to escape, he must succeed a brawn check +1.
You have shot me. I've been shot, and now I'm wrapped in the whips. Ah. And Hong, you are attacking the one who got a whip crack across the face, correct?
Yes, twice because I'm just concentrating. That's who he is. So the first damage is 6 minus 3, 3 damage. And because I did damage, I am going to try to use the special ability to knock him back here. So I use my... Oh, that fails. I don't even have to look at it.
Okie dokie.
And then second hammer is 3 minus 3, 0. So yeah, just the one hit.
Very good. So you do hit and roll your brains, Joe.
I succeeded on a brains check. I rolled a 7. My brains are 8. So I'm wondering if all the people are accounted for, or if one of these Frenchmen is an innocent.
So you failed or you passed?
I passed.
Oh yes, you realize. Wait, there was only one of these Frenchmen when we first walked in here. Well, clearly, one of them is fake.
But is it a normal human who is the second, or is it just an illusion he drummed up?
Well,
I don't know if it's an illusion.
They're acting independently of one another. They're both bleeding. The one is wrapped up at Jesus, but the other one pulls out his spectral dagger and he says, and he stabs at the heart. Hong Da. You are going to take 2 luck points of damage as he stabs you, clicks his fingers. The smell of cloves are in the air, and it's darkness again. Make me a roll a d10 for me, Hong.
All right. That is a 4 on the dice.
All right. It is dark in here. What is everybody going to do?
Do I still feel that there's somebody inside my whip?
Oh, yeah. The lights, they are out.
Put the lights on or this guy gets it, I say.
You fool. I am an innocent man. He cares not for me. You just hear
We'll
chuckling.
see.
Who needs sight? I want to shoot some more.
Well, you know exactly where the person was, so go ahead and shoot. You will not get any penalties. Hong Da, what are you up to?
Hong, double hammer on the guy in front of him who just slashed at me.
And then Joe, what are you up to?
Am I nearby the one that did not have... Which one am I nearby, or am I not nearby either?
I think you kind of just entered the room and you just kind of like counted everybody, and you're like, "Wait, there's more than one," and then all the shit happened.
So if I'm not near anyone, I will not take an action.
All right, very good. Remind me again, Jesus. You were what were you up to?
I'm just sort of keeping this guy taut in my whip.
Keeping him taut in there. Quinn, you can make a shot.
All right, 3 and a miss. And I'm aiming for the guy who's not in the
right,
thing.
the one that made the stab at Hong.
Exactly. Yeah,
Gotcha.
That was a good hint that that's a bad guy.
Hong, go ahead and roll do your attack on also.
Okay, that was a 1 on the dice, so the damage is really bad. So the first one's a miss. Second one, he is going to go swing a second one, 2 ones in a row. So
yeah,
really
like
I can't see in the dark.
When the darkness came, like
Scared of the dark.
You must have moved or something, because you're just like with 2 big whiffs, and then you hear a voice. He will betray you. Ruthven seeks only riches, and then you see a ghostly fire burning around this form, and you see and everybody is going to take. As this fire spreads all across the room, everybody takes 1 damage, and everybody makes a guts check. If you have failed, you take a guts penalty, and just mark that down that you have a guts penalty as this fire burns you. And now the lights are back on, and you notice that there are 2 of this governess.
What does the guy in the whip look like now? Is he still the Frenchman?
He is still a bleeding Frenchman. He says, "You idiot! You think he cares not for me? I'm bleeding. I am now burnt. You are a fool. Kill the governess. Kill the one that is the bad one. It is a shapeshifter." And the one governess says, "Why, she has taken my face." And the other one says, No, I'm the real governess."
Which one has a goatee?
"I'm the real governess." They are neither of them. For all intents and purposes, they look exactly the same.
Hmm.
All right, I am going to pick one arbitrarily, and I will slice the cuff off of one of her sleeves of her dress.
Which one? One or
The one on the left.
two? There you go.
And
Call
by
her
doing
one.
so, I hope to differentiate the two if it goes dark again.
I would like to take the guy who's in my whip and throw him and unleash him onto one of the governesses and then whip the other one.
So who are you throwing him at, and who are you whipping then?
I'm throwing him at the one, number 2, and then whipping number 1.
All right. Okay.
It turns out that when you have a hammer, everything's a nail. When you have a bullwhip, you just want to whip everything.
To be fair, Hong has tried to use his hammer on everything. So
yeah, go ahead.
Hong's going to, as the Frenchman gets thrown on the one on the right, number 2. He's going to try to go and jump on top of number 2 then as well to somehow grapple and hold them down should they get taken out by the Frenchman. And if the Frenchman doesn't hit him, he's just going to tackle and try to get him down. Try to get the number 2 down.
That's a wonderful idea. Quinn's gonna try to tackle the other. The one that's getting whipped, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Joe, you slice off a thing of my fine dress, I declare. And
I
then
do apologize, ma'am. However, we need to be able to discern the difference between you and the other
And
when
at
it
this
comes
point-
to the killing blow.
And at this point, the Frenchman knocks into the other dilettante, and Hong Da jumps on the other dilettante governess, and then Jesus whip crack on the one right in front of you, Joe. Make
No damage.
What is the meaning of this? And Quinn jumps on. Then grabs that one. So you're all surrounded. The Frenchman. Oh, sacre bleu! He gets knocked into her. The one. And Hong's on that one. And Emily and Quintella is on the other one, who just got whipped. And the one under you, Hong, snaps her fingers, and it is dark again. Roll me a D10, Hong.
7. I just sent out.
I see you there. Yeah. All
the
right.
next 3 rolls. I have to go close up the labs real quick.
All right. At this point, we'll say Hong is going to take a piece of damage, some damage. The lights are out. You just hear the scuffling and rolling around on the floor, and then the lights come back on. And at this point, there are 2 Hongs there, struggling with each other.
Oh no!
And they each have their hand on one hammer, and they're just struggling back and forth.
Hong can take it.
Yeah, Hong has a lot. He's good. He's in good shape.
I can patch him up anyway.
I'll
Hong's
shoot
the
one
strong
at each.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hong would say, "Go ahead and shoot both of us."
He's got all those luck points.
It's the only way.
Right.
He said that, right?
Luck points to burn, honestly.
Now, if I sever your arm, Hong, I do apologize ahead of time.
All right. So what would you guys like to do as these two Hongs are like struggling with each other?
And just to confirm, now that there's two Hongs, there's only one Dilettante, only one Gray or
Yeah, correct.
Pro
There's only
guys.
one of everybody else. Yes.
Nice. I will.
The one that you threw the Frenchman at, like he's like underneath the two struggling Hongs because that was the one, and the one that Joe took the thing off of. She still has the cut off thing, and she's like, "I told you I was the proper governess. Now stop that awful man." Old woman, I don't even know.
My apologies, ma'am. And then Quinn gets up and is going to shoot 2 shots.
One for each, right?
One for each.
All right.
Share the love.
Share the love. What's Jesus going to do?
I'm gonna do my whip on number 2 and try to ensnare him with my special ability.
Ensnare one of the Hongs? Which one?
Number 2.
Number 2 Hong. Okay.
I'm gonna try twice to ensnare him.
And Joe, what are you going to do?
I'm going to reason with Hong. I'm going to say, sir, I guess we should have come up with code words for just this situation. But I'm sure you will understand the what we're facing here, and you will not retaliate when I slice you twice.
So are you
And I will do
one of
so
them?
on the one that is not being grappled by the whip.
So Sean, you said you're doing number 2.
Yep.
Joe, you're going to be doing it on number 1. Quinn, you're going to be shooting at either of them.
Right. Yep.
Hong, he already gave his rolls. I assume those are damages. So like, I make note of that damage because I assume he's just going to be like they're just wrestling each other with the thing. Although we're actually going to make it a brawn check. So, but with this all happening simultaneously, let's go ahead and make our thing. So Quinn, your gun goes off. 2 shots. Roll those
All right.
damages.
On the first one, it's a 7. So Hong 1,
Hong 1 takes 7.
7 damage. And on the second, I miss.
All right. So Hong 2 takes no damage.
Hopefully I hit the right one.
All right. Hey Zeus, make your
I
things.
ensnare number 2.
Number
with my
2
whip.
is ensnared. And then Joe, what were you doing again?
I was, after apologizing ahead of time and begging him not to retaliate, I will slice number 1.
Slicing number 1, yeah.
And I rolled 4 damage total. I rolled pretty low, which is good. Now, if he attacks, then I will know which one is I will believe which one is the bad guy.
All right. So at this point, Hong number 2 is able to pull the hammer away from Hong number 1. Hong number 1 snaps their fingers. And Joe, make me a D10 roll.
8.
8. Do you want to go up or down?
Let me go up.
All right. So at this point, the light comes on, and you see Enzio running towards you with the knife drawn, and he screams, "The hunter of midnight beasts will find you!" And then he stabs at you, Joe.
Oh no!
But
Oh,
Come on, man!
But I loved your chicken.
somehow, through the shock of it all, though, like you were able to duck out of the way of this knife. And then Enzio in the next car was like, "What do you say?" And now there are 2 Enzios. And Hong is wrapped up in Jesus's whip.
Well, I'm glad I sliced the right one.
Now what's everybody going to do?
I am going to release Hong from my whip.
Well, the advantage here is that Enzio is actually in the next car, and whoever this madman stabbing at me.
Yeah, I'm going to
It's
whip this.
bad guy.
I'm going to whip this Enzio.
yep. That seems like a good plan.
whipping and shooting and etc.?
Hollering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
I failed with my whip.
Oh. Both shots go wild.
You're just all shocked because you're like, oh, Enzio's a good guy. And like,
Right? I can't
you almost feel
shoot
like
him.
regret about shooting him.
6 total damage on both attacks. So total is 6.
So we'll make this cool, like let's go this way since you had that special ability that makes it happen, right? So like he stabs with the knife, you go and you cut off, like you see him, he's about to snap his fingers, and like you seem to like that like when that happens is when the darkness falls, and you just take your bone saw and you chop his hand right off in mid snap before the darkness falls and blood starts pumping out of him. And at this point, Bertram walks in and he bang, a gunshot echoes through the air and mingling with the scent of gunpowder and clothes. The smoky residue wafts from Bertram's gun barrel. This Enzio staggers back, shock on his face, clutching their midriff. Their expression contorts in a snarl that defies reality. His skin rips apart, revealing elongated, sharpened teeth. The train car's lights flicker as a radiant green haze envelops the scene, filled with demonic faces twisting and snapping at you. A sound like a cannonball ripping through a wall reverberates. When the lights return, the mist and the transformed Enzio are gone. A 6-foot wide hole has been blasted through the side of the train car, and an unsettling cackle lingers in the cool night air, echoing into the abyss. So, Hong, while you were gone, the changeling preacher turned into you, and
oh, that must have been exciting. How much damage did you guys all do to me?
Actually, you've only taken 1 damage from from reasons. Luckily, Quinn's shot, the good shot, missed you, or the bad shot.
We got lucky.
You, right? Yeah, you got lucky on that one.
And I just grabbed you with my whip. I wasn't trying to damage you.
Sean just grabbed. So everybody survived. So you all get +1 luck points. We're gonna give +4 luck points to Joe for at least trying to be a detective in this whole situation, and another +5 for defeating the governess or the changeling, as it were. So, way to go, Joe. And I think at this point we are 9 minutes in. Bertram, reloads. Anybody want to do any last minute
Does the first class cabin have any bullets?
Yeah, make me a roll.
Let's find out. 5.
Yeah, you find 4 bullets.
All right, I'll take that.
I will, unless anybody's seriously hurt, and I will patch up the Frenchman for 5 LP.
You are a good man, unlike this man with the whip. He is a horrible man, cares not for anybody.
All right, and also we all need to choose a code word so we know who's the next doppelganger.
Tubalcane.
We all agree on that, yes, Tubalcane?
Sure.
Tubalcane.
All right. At this point, that is kind of as far as I've prepped. It's I don't want to get us too far past 10 o'clock into the next car either. So we are going to stop there. And at this point, what the hell? A couple horses come riding up on horseback as Jesus, you guys see the other 2 players rolling up, and Jesus is going to
grab one of the horses and ride off into the sunset.
Jesus is like, I'm not sure about all this supernatural mumbo jumbo, and then he gets or you stay back because who knows what will happen. I don't know if we'll get through where next week will take us, but you'll take a back seat for now, and the other 2 are rolling up on their horses, and we'll catch you next week on the Sunrise Limited.
That was cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Well, turns out that this isn't your average ordinary train heist. A changeling in the Old West? One can only wonder what awaits this ragtag group as they continue to do their job as added security. We really hope you enjoyed part 1 of the Sunrise Limited one-shot, brought to you by the RPG System 321 Action and the Wednesday Night Crew. And as always, see you next week. Hey there, listeners! Would you like to support the Wednesday Night Crew as we go on adventures in Eberron, as well as play through other game systems as we have in the past, like Ice Fleet and Alien the role-playing game? If you're interested in supporting us, just go to patreon.com/Eberron Adventures, and then maybe you could be as cool as Jonathan and Andrew, our first 2 supporters. Once again, that's patreon.com/Eberron Adventures. Donate and get your name in the credits. I mean, that's kind of cool. Anyways, thanks for your support, and as always, we'll see you next week.